the ability to get in Phil and Tiger's head a little bit. I'm with you. I loved the whole idea of them talking to each other and the gimmies and, hey, let's keep playing. All that. To me, that stuff is fascinating about match play golf. And I think that you could have some of that same stuff with NASCAR or with other sports if you just thought more creatively. So that'll wrap up episode 227 of Talk Back. But Justin, a real quick reaction. I know we didn't have time for it on this episode to get into the NBA, but our Sixers are really having a good year. They're in third place in the East. Now, they did just lose to the Toronto Raptors, so I think that still shows that they're a step behind the Raptors. But I'm excited with where this team is headed. I think Jimmy Butler's played well with them. I know we have the whole Markelle Fultz thing to discuss on a different episode again. But the Sixers, they're in third place in the East. Then you've got the Lakers, who are actually in the middle of the playoff hunt in the West, only one game behind the Golden State Warriors. So, Justin, just a quick reaction. Is there anything in the NBA that's surprising you right now? And do the Lakers actually have a chance to stay right where they're at? We're a quarter away through the season now.
I think the Western Conference is insane. That's a topic we had on the show, and we just frankly ran out of time, and it's something that hopefully we'll be able to discuss next week. But just basically top to bottom, there's not a lot of games that separate all those teams. So if you go on a 3 or 4 game win streak, you sort of shoot to the top. If you drop 3 or 4 in a row, you're heading to the bottom and out of the top 8 for the playoff picture. And there's some good teams on the outside looking in. I think that's what I take from this season. I think the Eastern Conference will shake itself out. But that Western Conference right now, it's a mess of just teams that are playing really good basketball. And outside the Phoenix Suns, you've got 1 through 14 that are all within a few games of each other at this point. So I think that's through a quarter point of the season to see that many teams in the mix for potential playoff spots. I think that's pretty wild in the West.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Something we'll certainly be talking about in the weeks ahead, especially for the fact that the Pelicans, the Jazz, the Rockets, I know the Spurs aren't the same team that they've been in the past, but the Spurs, those teams are all well below the playoff line. But when I say well below, you're looking at them at the bottom of the standings and then looking that they're only 5 games, 6 games behind the leading Denver Nuggets. So I think there's still a lot that's going to happen in this Western Conference. I totally agree with you. Another thing I've got my eye on, and I think you and I will talk about this even more once the season gets past halfway, but you got to look at those Los Angeles Lakers in the way that they're playing. And I know that we've said that LeBron is a tough guy to play with. He's a tough teammate to have because of his expectations. But Justin, I want to keep my eye on something, and it's this. Kyle Kuzma, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball are all playing a much better game of basketball right now than they were even at the beginning of the season and certainly last year. So to me, I look at what's happening and they're winning some tough basketball games right now. It seems like LeBron James has switched their mindset and their culture, and those 3 guys are actually starting to believe in themselves and believe that they can be winners in the NBA. And so to me, that's kudos to LeBron and it's kudos to his leadership because I think they're ahead of schedule right now in my eyes.
I'm surprised you didn't bring up the Kevin Durant comments that just came out of the chaos around LeBron and the groupies he has in the media and how toxic the environment is. So what seemed like KD a favorite to go to the Lakers and play with LeBron, I'm not so sure that's going to happen. So kind of want to see how this plays out. It just kind of broke Wednesday night, Thursday morning that story in the comments that from Kevin Durant came out. But definitely kind of want to see how this story gets reacted to, and maybe we'll have that included on the show next week.
Yeah, I'll keep my comments about Kevin Durant to myself right now. Sometimes I don't know what to think about Kevin Durant. He seems to run his mouth a lot more after a couple championships than he used to, but that's neither here nor there right now. That's going to do it for this edition of Talk Back. If you enjoy the show, make sure you head out to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Don't be afraid to hit us up on Twitter at TalkbackJustin and at TalkbackEric. If you have something to say about the world of sports or you have a comment about the show or even an opinion you want to share on the show, let us know through our social media accounts. That's going to do it for episode 227. We hope you have a good weekend. We'll talk back at you next time. Thank you for listening to this episode of Talk Back. Staying current on sports is our #1 goal, so we drop a new episode each Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, or the podcatcher of your choice. For more info about the show, to meet the hosts, or to partner with us on future episodes, please visit talkbackfantalk.com. We really enjoy hearing your take on the world of sports, even when you disagree. After all, this show is dedicated to you, the fans. So get direct access to us on Twitter using @TalkbackJustin and @TalkbackEric. Check out our corporate feed on Twitter and Instagram using the handle @TalkbackFanTalk. We hope you have a great week. We'll talk back at you next time.